Hello, everyone, and welcome. We've all probably heard of that expression, to have selective hearing. When we have selective hearing, it usually means that we hear things that benefit us, that are good for us. But if somebody says something to us that we don't want to hear, that challenges us, that's a message that we don't want to implement in our lives, usually we have a hard time hearing them. Selective hearing often refers to a relationship between children and parents. A child, for example, has no problem hearing something when their parents say a message to them that benefits them, like, it's time for a snack, come over here. They have no problem hearing their parents. But when their parents say something to them that they don't want to hear, like, clean up your room or tidy up the toys that you're playing with, all of a sudden the child can conveniently have a very hard time listening or hearing their parents. Selective hearing. Jesus is accusing the people that he's speaking with in today's gospel of having selective hearing. Today's gospel is taken from John chapter 5, verses 31 through 47. Jesus in the gospel is speaking with people who claim to be listening to the teaching of Moses. They claim to be following his teaching, his example. But Jesus is accusing them of having selective hearing, about listening to the teachings of Moses that benefit them and ignoring other ones. In verse 46, Jesus says to them, "For if you have believed Moses, you would have believed me, because he wrote about me. But if you do not believe his writings, how will you believe my words?" So Jesus is accusing the people he's interacting with of only listening to some of the words about Moses, but they're ignoring other words or writings about Moses that actually speak about Jesus himself. Why do they have this selective hearing? Well, perhaps they don't want to hear or listen to the words of Moses that point them towards Jesus because it requires a change of life for them, a change of lifestyle. They would have to alter their behavior, and for this reason, they practice some selective hearing. During this time of the pandemic, we too can have selective hearing. This can be different for different people. Perhaps we only want to listen to voices that maybe calm us. We might want to not take warnings from health experts seriously. We won't want to downplay the severity of the situation. For a lot of people, I think, however, selective hearing can look a lot like this. Perhaps we only want to listen to news that kind of stokes our panic and our fear, and we're unable to listen to stories of people who can actually fill us with hope, that there are so many great stories out there of people sacrificing themselves, of communities coming together, and somehow we can only focus on the negative at this time. We have a selective hearing in that we're not hearing the positive that is out there. So perhaps today we can ask ourselves a simple question. How is my hearing in these days? Am I only listening to certain things, certain voices that reinforce the way I'm thinking? Or do I go out of my way to listen to other voices to help me see the bigger picture? God bless you and take care.